can be a wrong way to do it. There can be like a wrong way to have a conversation. It could be the right time for that person, but if you like, don't relate to them and like, help them see the value of what this could do for them. Because remember, it's not about you. It's not about you hitting Success Club. It's not about your commission. It's not about your team. It's about that person. So like, you have to dig deep with that person to help them find the value. Because once you get to the end and you talk to them about the price, they're going to think it's like $300 because you've added so much damn value to what it is you are about to give them and the experience you're about to give them and our products and everything, that there's like little to no hesitation. Of course, you still get no's, but at least you now have a valuable conversation. So when it is the right time for them, like they'll be like, yes, I trust this person. This person listened to me and they want what's best for me. So I'm going to join them.
I love that. Thank you so much. Anything, Tess, did you have something to add?
I did, yeah. One thing that's helped this year for my team, two things actually. One is every month I do an SC prize for people. So if they hit SC5, I'm giving out prizes from my team. And I'm including my team's not big yet. So I'm including my downline's downline. We're all kind of working collectively still. So, and it's nothing, if they're all like less than $5, give or take, I'm a big sale watcher. So I get all the emails for like, the different running companies or whatever Target has, but I announce it the month before. So everyone gets prizes if they hit SC5, and then the shout outs. And then we've been consistently doing I live in Atlanta. So we've been doing, and half my team is here. So we've been doing parties and get-togethers. And so every other month we get together for dinner with challengers too that live in the Atlanta area. So they get to meet the coaches in real life. So ideally, potentially new coaches down the line. And also, like this past weekend, we had a big party at my house. Spouses were invited. So about 30 people came. And then we have something, and there's a bigger team retreat in October to Hilton Head. So some of the dinner at my house, I cover the cost. The Hilton Head one, I'm covering the cost for housing. And for those who get diamond by then, I'm covering lifestyle photos. So there's a lot of incentives for people. But everything, they have to get themselves there and pay for food and all that, but I cover the housing. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but it's paid off so far. We went to Myrtle Beach in April. I paid for housing then too. So it's housing, meaning not hotels, guys. I got a condo. And so it worked. There's something to think about.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be a huge incentive for me. And it seems like you're hitting those different love languages, like recognition and gifts. And with the retreats, that's quality time, right? So you're hitting on all of those love languages.
Mm-hmm. Most of the people are moms. So for them to have a weekend away, especially when we did the lifestyle photo shoot in March, April, some of the moms even came up to me like, I've never gotten dressed up for me. And it was nice. I mean, even if they never got to Emerald, I didn't care. It was just nice for me able to give them that gift. They didn't get to Emerald, but it was still nice. So
that's awesome. Oh my gosh, I love that you do that. Thank you so much. And I kind of want to call out Megan Kelly here because she has some really, and I think you guys are being kind of hard on yourself because I'm looking at all of the SC numbers and you're all doing a pretty good job of getting your coaches to Success Club. But I'm kind of picking and choosing who's here and who has like high numbers. So Megan, sorry, would you kind of share with us what you do?
Yeah. So thanks for the shout out. But so this month has been like a different month where I feel like before I was doing, I always do like in my team page. And right now my team page is not just for personally sponsored coaches. It's for my coaches, because that community is like really important to me. And we haven't gotten to the point where I'm ready to split off. It hasn't gotten to that like weird, confusing point yet. And so every Monday there's a Success Club leaderboard as like the header in my team page. And I have people who like have hit Success Club, like their pictures up there, and it has their like Success Club numbers. And then I have like an almost there. So like that hits recognition for people that have hit it, but people who are also close. And my discount coaches are also in my team page. And I love my discount coaches because they're always commenting on that, like tagging people's names and being like, oh my gosh, you're so close. Only this many more lives. Cause like they're not into the business and these certain people probably never will be, which is totally fine. But they're like giving people that words of affirmation, recognition. And so that's also just really fun every week. And then I do a Success Club prize monthly, but I don't tell them what it is, just because I've heard from certain people that if it's not something that they want, like they're not going to push for it, and things like that. And just like, you know, comment on this once you see Success Club 6 in your back office kind of thing. I do this month, I called it like my Boss Babe mentorship. And that's been really fun because we're spending a lot of quality time together, which is great for my coaches that love quality time, which most of these people, and they had to like apply for this mentorship and say that they were going to commit Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that if they didn't for more than one call, like they were going to be kicked out of the group, because like this is for people who are really wanting it. And having people just constantly, like, we're hanging out virtually together, we're talking together, we're cheering each other on, you know, in addition to the gifts and things like that. That's been really helpful as far as like getting people to Success Club and getting people to Emerald. Like this is my biggest month with having this many coaches hit Emerald in a short amount of time. And I just feel like pouring into them and being there for them, but not in management mode, just becoming best friends with them and having that relationship has been huge. And then also just telling my new coaches right off the bat, all of them have asked me this month, what's the number one thing that you like tell your coaches? Or, you know, what's the number one thing that I should focus on in the month? And I tell them Success Club, because one, I'm like, that's getting people in your funnel and you're helping people. And that moment where you help your first person is literally the most incredible moment. And you get to do it over and over and over again. And that is, and also, you know, you're earning your investment back. I was a teacher, so I have a lot of teachers, and like, even though $160 might not seem like a lot to us now, you know, it's an investment, like for them to earn that back is awesome. And just, I feel like hitting all of the things at once, but not putting in like this insane amount of work, like just working with what you have as far as the willing people, and then just like figuring out what motivates people. And I asked them like right off the bat, I'm like, are you motivated by competition? Are you motivated by recognition? Are you motivated by gifts? And I tell them competition, not necessarily like we're against each other, but like if you see so-and-so hit a rank, is that going to motivate you, or is that going to not motivate you, kind of thing. So just being honest with them.
I love that. And I love that you said with SC, like my view of Success Club, because it is a recognition program. It's, so you get paid in two ways. You have the compensation program, and then you have the recognition program. And recognition is like elite, premier, like that's kind of what we're gunning for right now. And there is some monetary payment with that. But if you think about getting Success Club every single month, that automatically gets your product paid for, right? So it's like,
and I tell them that right away. I'm like, we're going to get your Shakeology paid for. And I break it down into like, you don't want to just focus on like 3 people every month, because why would we only say, I only ever want to help 3 people, you know? And so it's like, oh, you get Shako in the performance line. Let's go help 5 people.
You know, what's helped for me is one of the elite coaches, I think Emily, did talk about just have them, like I was doing all the, like, let's do getting started right. Let's do the, you know, business activity tracker, all that. And then I realized a lot of people's eyes were getting glazed, and like nobody was following the tracker. And a week later, they were like, I haven't even looked at the coach office yet. Like, so last 2 months, I just revamped everything. So I'm trying something different. So this seems to be working. I'm just telling them, get 3 friends. And so that's it. And then I will walk you through the process, because I've given them the scripts. I've given them how to close. I've done all that because it's in our group. It's in a file, but nobody looks there. That's the problem. And they don't look in the back office. It's the best is like after 2 months, no one even knew there was a back office. So I just said, let's try this from the beginning. So I told them, like, let's find 1 friend a week. They have 1 month to get to SC5, right? So we broke it down, 1 friend a week, myself and either their upline or me. We'll just every other day, how's it going? Like, you know, to get 1 person, we got to have 10 messages. And so they start messaging 10. That's kind of how we're doing it. Seems to be working. And at least for the newer coaches, even when they get when they get SC2, that they're all lauded, you know, on the group. And I'm similar to what you're saying, Megan, but that's, I'm just like, send me your messages, send me your screenshots, and I will help you craft a response. And so that seems to be working. So just something to think about. And then once they get into that comfort zone, then they start looking in the back office. So just need them to get into a rhythm. Sorry.
If I ever hear you apologize again, I'm going to kick you in the butt. No, don't do that. Oh my gosh. I love that. I love that you're sitting down one-on-one with them and helping them like, okay, maybe this sounds a little salesy. Maybe you should like try and put your own spin on this because this sounds like somebody else. You know what I mean? So I love that because it's so hard for coaches to find their own voice when they're just starting this. I want to go back to Megan because she was saying she's had so many emeralds this month, and that's awesome. And I know like this is everybody's deal here, okay? Because you're in the diamonds to 2-star group. So you guys are kicking butt when it comes to elite numbers, but where you're leaders, right? And I'm probably getting like a amen because we don't have diamonds in our downline, right? So how are you, Megan, going to take those emeralds and form them into diamonds?
So, my like biggest conversation that I have with them is like emerald's a choice, but diamond is a choice. And I share with them my story about how like for 6 months, I thought that it was some crazy far off, like only certain people could hit diamond. And then when I decided, I was like, oh, it literally takes 6 weeks, if that. And how, I invite every single person that I talk to, who we've had the conversation, they're like, okay, I'm joining a boot camp kind of thing. I invite them to the VIP discount coach, whatever you want to call it, opportunity. And so that's what I've been pushing with people who are emerald to diamond, because if they're sitting at Success Club 8 already or Success Club 10 in this month, like, why don't you have 5 coaches? And so continuing on from like that Boss Babe mentorship, and we've been in it for 2 weeks. Almost every single person's emerald. And so now our shift is, okay, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to 10x your efforts? What you have to make the choice. And having that conversation with them of diamond isn't this scary, far off thing. Most of them have hit emerald by signing up to people who accounts, the U+2. And so they can make those people emerald. So just breaking it down. And then we had a team call the other night and I loved this. And this is something that I'm doing for them also, creating the graphic that you would have to announce them as a diamond coach and sending it to them and being like, okay, what date am I going to put this on Facebook? Like, which Thursday are we going to do this? Because all of them have expressed that that's what they want to do. And so that's kind of like my next step, but just diamond is emerald and emerald over again. You already did it once. You can do it again next week. You can do it again the week after, and you can do it again. And there you go.
Megan, are most of your coaches working in like real day jobs, or they've all gone part-time? Or
these are all like brand new coaches, the ones that I'm talking about. Like they sign up. Like, yeah. So they're teachers, social workers. One of them works part-time. There are a few like brand new first-year teachers. So yeah, they're all doing part-time.
Megan, Danielle had a question, and then we'll get to Leah, but Danielle wants to know what the wording you use to break down the discount coach option to potential customers.
Oh, so I like once, and I don't bring it up until they have said like, this is what, yes, like, okay, sign me up. What challenge pack are we going to talk about kind of thing? Because I don't want to overwhelm them with like, oh, there's this option and this option and this option. But I asked them, I'm like, hey, do you think that you're going to continue with Shakeology or the performance line or whatever they're doing after the first month? Some people are like, I might, but I want to see if I like it first. Some people are like, yeah, like I'm going all in. I don't want to do this just for a month. I haven't quite had anyone answer it in that way of, no, I'm not going to. And if they do, that's fine. And I say, I actually have like a VIP discount where you can get 25% off. I offer monthly one-on-one calls or monthly group calls for goal setting. And it's kind of like Amazon Prime where you get faster shipping, it's cheaper, and it's a really great way to save money because I love saving money. And they're like, oh, okay, I love Amazon Prime. Like, who doesn't love Prime? And then they're like, okay, I definitely want to do that. Even if I'm not sure about it, is it something I can cancel? I'm like, yeah, nothing's binding. Like in the Beachbody world, you're not stuck anywhere. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, let's do it. And then I just tell them like, hey, it's like Amazon where you pay $10 a month now, you pay $15.95 a month. Is that okay with you? And it's like a 2-second one and done conversation.
I really like how you frame that, how it's like you pay for your membership. you know,
Yes.
and then you also have this option of creating a business opportunity with it to even get your product paid for.
Exactly.
So I love how you do that. Leah was going to share with us how she helps her downline. I'm excited to hear from her. Thank you, Leah.
Hi. So my team's kind of like the opposite of what everybody said so far. Like, I've advanced 3 diamonds so far this year. My team's getting everybody hit Success Club every month. We're kind of like slow and steady. But what I have done to help my teams advance, not only like my own accounts, but my teams, is I make sure that I work down in my deep line. So I work with my own, obviously, PS coaches. I reach out and work with their coaches. Anytime we have a new coach that joins under one of my own coaches, I make sure that I put them in a thread. So I use messenger pods a lot. And what I feel like a lot of my diamond coaches or my soon-to-be diamond coaches fears are like that I don't know how to be a leader yet, or like I don't know what to do to be a leader. And it's just like as a new coach, right? A new coach's fears like I don't know what to do to be a new to coach. So I kind of alleviate that pressure from them and say, you don't need to know what you need to do yet. That's my role, is to help you. So let's do it together. And so we always I put my diamond, and then their new coaches, and we put them in pods so that when their coaches ask questions, if my diamond girl doesn't know the answer, like I jump in and answer. And it helps me, number one, build the community, the relationships. I love what Tess said with the community, and like we do tons of events together because I feel like that really helps solidify and make it feel like it's a team effort too. But I don't look at my coaching and mentorship as only my PS coaches. Anybody in my downline, like I work with, I'll do one-on-one calls with, doing threads, like I said, jumping into pods. Like that's really been key for me. And I know that it's working when like their coaches are also messaging me and asking questions. There's maybe a lot of people have different schools of thoughts on that, you know, but I personally feel like it helps me be able to at least reach down to help them advance up. Mm-hmm. And then just applying everything, what else you guys said, like it's a decision to get to emerald, it's a decision to get to diamond. But I think that's really important, that I have the ability to help, like, you know, my diamonds, emeralds advance. And that way there's control, you know, and that's been really helpful.
So you guys have a lot more experience than I do, because I needed more of a brain dump from your perspectives. I do what you're doing, Leila, because that's why everyone participates in everything in my group, because I reach out to all the coaches. I include their coach in the text chain.
Yeah.
So the coach gets an idea of how you're supposed to do this. My thing that I struggle with is I'm actually a doctor. 80% of my team are physicians, and they're all making 6 figures. So to be in this business, to replace that income, it's at least 3 or 4 years of time and sweat put into it, because everyone's on call, they're in the OR, they're seeing patients. So that is what everyone's hitting and keeping their accounts active because they like Shakeology, but switching them over to like, how do you, like, does anyone have 6-figure earners? How do you get them motivated to do the business? That's the problem I'm struggling with.
Can I want to say something?
Yeah. So when it comes to that, I mean, you have to figure out their why. So for them, like their why is probably not monetary, right? Because they're already a 6-figure earner. Their time is most likely going to be freedom. Like you have to find the thing that's going to trigger like within them to get them to where they want to go. Like I know Lindsay Matway, I went to like one of her Super Saturdays, and one of her Rockstar coaches, who was Lindsay Matway's first Superstar Diamond, I cannot remember her name to save my life, so there was like 5 of them there, but it was her first Superstar Diamond, and she was a 6-figure earner when Lindsay started this business, but she's like, I'm making 6 figures, I don't need this. Then she had her first child and was watching Lindsay be able to stay home and have that freedom with her child, while she had to take her child to daycare and get a progress report that they said their first word. That's what crushed her. That is what helped her find her why and why she wanted to do this. It wasn't for the money because she was already making great money. Of course, she needed to, match that so that she could go full time, but it was her why to have freedom with her kids. So like each person is going to tick differently. So you have to help them figure out what their why is to get them to do the things even when they don't feel like doing it. So, and know that just trusting that process and keep on going is going to get them to that life of freedom. And I really want to say, I think you say it Leia, right? When you were, I think that's how you say your name. But when she was talking about building deep, I am so about that. Like, I am not about building wide. I'm not a high recruiter. I'm not a high success club earner. But I only have 40 personally sponsored coaches, and most of them are discount coaches, and we're number 71 in the business. And not only have I rank advanced 3 diamonds and the 4th tomorrow, but 2 of those coaches rank advanced diamonds as well to get to 1 star. And another one's on the verge of doing that too, because our team builds deep. And so, definitely focusing deeper in your downline too. I think that is so important because not only is that going to help you and your team, that's also going to help your volume too, which volume equals residual income. So separate, rank and everything, like volume is so huge, guys. Volume is how you can go on vacation for a week and still come home to a banging paycheck, So if you're building deep too, you're not only creating those relationships and having more communication and a team effort, like you are just, it's incredible, right? So don't just focus on yourself, focus on everybody. And everyone just feels supported and loved and motivated. And, I know Tess talks about like the retreats as well. I do that too. Like the first Emerald retreat that I ever held, I did it at a friend's house. Like it doesn't have to be something super fancy. If you have someone who has a bigger house or whatever, just make it there. And the first Emerald retreat, that's where I got my first 2 diamonds to pop. And that just started the momentum. Like then everyone on your team just wanted that so badly. And now we're doing another Emerald retreat in Key West at another friend's house. I used to live in Key West, so I have a few friends there. So like you can find ways to save money within that and still spoil your team. And now I'm making it where it's all the new emeralds, and then anyone who is an emerald at the past retreat, they have to get to diamond. And I open it up to everyone in my downline. I don't care. We'll figure out where everyone sleeps when we get there. But, those are definitely huge. And the investment I put in, because remember, you get to write all that stuff off on taxes. The investment you put in is going to just benefit you tenfold in your business in the future. And it's going to create those quality connections where like not only are your coaches friends with other coaches and they're friends with other coaches, it just creates that team culture. So I like everyone kind of said a little bit of things that I want to touch on, which is really cool. But yeah, Tess, just help them find their why, girl. Like, ask them like, what would being a full-time coach, like how much differently would their life look? So that's how I would approach that.
Okay.
And I would just add, I don't know, I would love to have lots of 6-figure earners on my team because like if you're a doctor and you did all the schooling, you know what it takes to like work your butt off and hard work. So there's a lot of perks to having women on your team that know what hustle and hard work takes.
Well, that's like the thing. They're used to having things come their way quickly. So what happens is they post a sweaty selfie and they expect 20 people to sign up to a group, and they don't. And they're not consistent, and then they're not, and there's all that because our structure is different. We kind of tell people what to do, and people respond back. It's not like the business model, which is kind of this way.
Right. I mean, it's a more authoritative, but you also know from your experience, like how many years did it take you to become a doctor to where you are now, right? So create that vision for your team or use your, the people above you, the leaders above you, like create that vision and a picture for what it's going to take. Yes, it takes 3 to 5 years, to be able to, there's tons of people that don't fit that mold, that are super fast, that take more than 3 to 5, but that's what Beachbody at corporate always says. It's 3 to 5 years. For me, it's definitely going to be 3 to 5 years. I'm at my 3 year. I'm not at 6 figures yet. It's going to be 3 to 5. That's, I think, the average, and that's the norm. So create that culture for them, and that's all you can do is create the vision and the culture for them. And
that's one thing that would be attractive to me, is the culture, because I feel like with physicians, that it's a very set culture, right? I don't know, Tess, you correct me if I'm wrong. But kind of the culture and maybe the traveling, going, being able to pick up whenever you want, that's attractive, but finding something that they really connect with. I think Danielle hit the nail on the head when she was like, yeah, find their trigger, see what makes them tick. And I totally get that, if you go to school and whatever, they have the if then mindset. Like, if I do this, then this happens. So if I post a sweaty selfie, then I should have 100 people like my photo, right? So I totally get that mentality. And then that's where you can come in and be like, I totally understand that if you give a shot of penicillin, like, you should be better, but this business works a little bit different. Like, you got to put the time in. Years don't just take off in school, and you can't just take your test and get an A. You need to keep at it all the time. So I get that.
Like, I keep, when they do text, I'm like, I'm sitting in carpool. I mean, I know that's a trigger. And so I've been home all week because of this job. So that kind of stuff. And then I've been putting my income into the group every week, so they see what I'm making, right? So that's more for them to see, well, oh, there's some money in it. Because a lot of people think this is Avon. This is how they're thinking of it, as Avon money. So, I mean, not to discount Avon, but you know what I'm saying. So
we've all been there, girl. It's totally fine. But I love what Leah said. She said, get them to events. And that's super, super important. I always say leaders are born at events. They're super important. So if you're close to a Super Saturday, and I love, oh my gosh, when you're talking about the groups that you have and the dinners and the get-togethers that you have in Atlanta, that's awesome, because a lot of people don't have that. A lot of coaches are spread out all over the place, and they just can't get together. They get together virtually, like Megan's team, which is still fun. But I mean, there's no substitute for like the clink of the wine glass. You're like on your computer screen, and it just is a little different. So I love that. Leah Akuri said, I'm a nurse practitioner, and I went all in a short period of time because I had such a burnout on my career. Many people gravitate to that. Okay, awesome. Anything else to add, you guys, with your Coaches Getting to Success Club?
One thing, Tess, you were saying that, them with their posting, right? If they just post a sweaty selfie and they expect everyone to come to them. That was a big thing that my team was struggling with, like in the beginning, was like social media and like how to, attract people to them. And like, really the key is you become a storyteller, right? And so what I use my team page for all learning opportunities. So if I always explain to my team, when it comes to social media, if you just post yourself holding a plank and in your caption, you're like, yeah, I held a plank, that's great. Like, no one's going to relate to that. They're going to be like, oh, good for you. Glad you could hold a plank. I'm still over here like, I don't even know where my abs are, right? You have to tell a story within your social media. So like, the story would be, I remember when I first started this journey, I couldn't even hold a plank for 2 seconds. And now I'm a year into my journey, I'm able to hold it for a whole minute. Like, it took day after day of falling, whatever. Like, you're telling a story. You're telling something that the person, like, you're talking to that person you were before you started this journey, so that they can relate to that person and then want to get to where you are now. So what I would do as a learning opportunity for my entire team is I would post the same picture of myself on my team page of me holding a plank. And I would say, here's 2 stories. One, I held a plank, yay. And then the next one, I would go into detail about telling my story, who I was before, and da-da. And then I asked the question, a reflection question, which one do you relate to the most? Which one speaks to you? Which one would you look at and be like, man, like, I want to do what she does, So using my team page as a learning opportunity and applications. So if I see a recurring thing that my team is struggling with, I don't pinpoint each person, but I post it in the team page. And, especially with like lighting of photos, like if you have one that's like super dark and then you do one that's super, in front of the mirror, I just ask a reflection question. Which one caught your eye? The one on the right or the one on the left? To get them to start to realize, because I remember Melanie Mitro said this a long time ago in one of her videos, but she said sometimes it takes people hearing the same exact thing 15 different times for it to finally click. So like, but you have to put out that content, and if you put it out in a group setting too, people don't feel like they're being like attacked by it or by any means, but they see it and they're like, oh my God, she's right. She's literally been telling me this for a year and I'm just now listening to her. So that's how I would kind of approach that. And that's how I have in my team page in the past.
And I love so much that you turn it around so much that you are like, okay, would you follow you? And I use that a lot. Like, okay, what makes me want to follow you? Why do I want you to be my coach? Like, why, how do you stand out? I mean, look at how many Beachbody coaches there are right now just on this call. So what makes you stand out from everyone else? You know, and like you said, just holding a plank, probably not going to do it. What is the story that you're telling? Why is it important that you're holding a plank? You know, why do I care? What brought me into this business, and how can I duplicate that so I can find more people like me? So I love that. Perfect. Okay, anything else to add, you guys?
I was just gonna say like something super simple, but a lot of my coaches are like motivated by some kind of like little competition. So like randomly throughout the day, I will just like send them a quick message and be like, I'm about to send 10 invites. Like I challenge you to 10. Like message me when you're done, or send me a GIF when you're done, or something like that. So that's just kind of something small, but I do that a lot.
I love that. So the other day I was on a call with, it was like a mastermind. And I don't know if you guys know who Brian James is. He's fabulous. So fun. He lives in New York, and he does, what does he call it? Power sets. So it's like a power 15-minute. And he's like, okay, in those mom cracks or those little pockets of time that you have throughout the day, he's like, okay, let's do a power set. 15 minutes, you're focused, you're going to sit down, you're going to send out invites. And I loved that because we talk about the power hour and we talk about all that stuff. And it's just not feasible sometimes, especially when you have new coaches that are still working full time. You have moms, you have people who are busy. He's an actor, so he's like on set and, you know, going every which way. So he can find 15 minutes in the day, and he calls it his power set. So I loved that because it's just 15 minutes of like boom, boom, boom. Because if you think about Insanity or Max or T25 or whatever, you know, you go really, really hard and then you take a break, and you go really, really hard and then you take a break. You can't work that hard all the time, right? But you can do it in 15-minute increments. See what I'm saying? So that's something that you can implement with your coaches. So what I like to do, and I think this is really important. Oh, Allie, go ahead.
I just have a question, and it's not about this particularly. I do significantly high Success Club numbers, and I get a lot of people that are interested in the coaching opportunity, but I find myself getting overwhelmed with the amount of people that I have, and don't ever know how to invest my time wisely into them. And so if anyone, you know, that does, because I hit roughly 60 to 80 Success Club points every month. And so I just, and out of those, in my sneak peeks, I get 6 to 7 every month in my sneak peeks at least that are interested in the coaching opportunity, but I don't ever know how to like invest like time into them and not overwhelm myself and not be able to not focus on my business, if that makes sense. And so I was seeing if anyone has any kind of pointers on that or anything.
So you're wanting to know how to convert your people that have gone into sneak peeks to coaching?
No, so they're coaches. They signed up. They're interested. They want to do it. I'm having a hard time like keeping them accountable with it and making sure they're getting all their questions answered. I've done text threads, but they kind of die off. So I don't know how to give individualized attention to everybody without overwhelming myself. Like all these people, every one of these other amazing coaches, they go deep in their downline, and I get super overwhelmed with that. And so I didn't know if they have like a follow-up system that they use to keep track of all their coaches and reach outs and stuff like that might be working for them, or a dry race board or something that's been working for them to help manage and keep up with their coaches, make sure nobody falls through the cracks.
Okay. Brittany says she uses asana. Anybody else have anything really fast? We are running out of time.
I just have something really quickly that someone gave me when I had that same like fear. Are those coaches that you're bringing on, are they hitting Success Club and bringing coaches into the business like right away? Because the best piece of advice that I was given is like, I have a new coach mentorship. It's through Thinkific and it's self-paced. And so once they finish that, that shows me that like, if they finish it in a day, like they're ready to go. If they finish it in a month, they might be someone who's more of a walker. And so like they can set up a one-on-one call with me after they finish that self-paced mentorship. And then we can talk about their goals. And then from there we go. But I have coaches, it's Thinkific. and you can like create it on there. That's what I did. It's the best thing that has ever like saved my life because it's all self-paced. Everyone that I have go through it loves it. And it really sets you up for like, okay, here's my runners, here's my walkers, here's my in-betweeners. And then after that, it's putting them in message pods so they can talk to themselves a lot too. I know you said sometimes it like died off, but really like having, you know, are you hitting Success Club? And when you are, like, you want more of my attention because you're putting in the work, because we all know Success Club is possible. So that's what someone told me. And then I was like, oh, okay, this person's going to tell me for 6 months that they're ready to work the business, but they haven't hit Success Club once. So like, I can't message them every day and be like, oh, how's it going? How's it going? Because that's just too much.
Yeah. I could add, I don't recruit 30 people a month, but what I can tell you is from learning from 2 years of trying lots of strategies, what for me has been the most effective is like what Megan said, is they have to earn their time with you. Something that I'm going to be starting is kind of like a boss babe mentorship like that, but they have to hit Success Club for the month. And then they earn it for the next month. They earn mentoring calls with me. I've spent so much time and effort on coaches that did nothing with the business. Like, I've learned the wrong way. But I had the time because I didn't have that many people, but I also know that those tools now gave me the right lessons. So when my team is that big, that I know the right way to do it. So sometimes it's trial and error, you know, but I think if you have a team that big, you're not going to be able to give every coach individual attention, nor should they. The ones that are working the business, the ones that are showing up consistently, then you know from results who to spend your time with.
And then Jessica had something to add, and then we'll wrap it up.
Hey guys, thanks. Okay, so I just wanted to add to that because I also did everything the wrong way, and I poured in so much time mentoring everyone, and it turned into me dragging them because I'm like, why wouldn't you want this? This is awesome. Like, you know, I don't understand why you want to run at the same pace as me. And I had a hard time. It was really frustrating. Most of those people ended up quitting. And now what I do is I'm very, like, similar to that. We have, you know, there's training in place. If they do that and they do all those things and they email me back and they're ready for their getting started right call. And then what I've changed recently that has been such a game changer is I do like a message thread success pod. So I have my new coaches. I have my Emerald coaches going for Success Club 5 or 10. I have my people going for Diamond. So I have a couple, I think 3 or 4 different groups. But then I also do, instead of doing one-on-one calls with everybody, I do a I do a Success Pod Zoom. So on Monday nights, it's coaches because I just don't have time to sit there and everybody in my whole entire downline is invited. So I used to spend hours and hours that were draining me on the phone, and people weren't executing the plan. They were like yesing me to death, but never acting. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be really selective with the people who I'm going to actively mentor. Like, I'm now very picky who I get on the phone with to mentor. Like, I will motivate everybody on my team and my entire downline. I'll answer questions, but I will not get on the phone with a one-on-one with somebody who keeps saying they want to work the business, but they're not showing me that they want to work the business, that they're just talkers. Like, I'm only interested now in working with the doers. But again, I will motivate everybody. I want to make sure that everybody, you know, is getting that part of me, but my time is valuable, and I've learned that. And it's like only the people who are really going for Diamond, who have proven to me that they're going to hit Success Club, are the people who I'm going to be spending my time with, because it's not sustainable for me once my team keeps growing and growing to be getting on one-on-ones with people my entire downline. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to create a duplicatable system versus me trying to do everything, because it will cause burnout really fast.
Thank you so much for adding that. And that's such a good point, because you guys do have to protect your time. And like I said, you're all operating on a higher level than most coaches, because you do have so many elite points. You do have teams. Okay. So you do have to run your business like a business, right? You have to run it like your time is valuable, and you have to run it, even if you're not making 6 figures yet, you have to run it that way. And that means that your time each hour is worth that much more. So if your hour is worth like, what was that book? Get Over Your Damn Self. She was like, my hour is worth over $900 an hour. You know, it was amazing. It's an amazing book. But treat yourself that way. Do these people that aren't making Success Club and aren't making these connections, is that worth $900? Heavens no. So keep that in mind, because you're worth that. That's what your time is worth. Are your kids worth that? Absolutely. That's where you need to spend your time. Those workers, yes. Spend the time with those people. Okay. So like I said, you guys, this is what is going to happen every week. Okay. And I will try and do another call like in the afternoons, maybe, for those people that can't get on these calls. But I hope that you found some value in this. I love what we talked about today and everything that was shared. I'm going to go ahead and stop